British Airways Killer. How to get away with murder. Not completely. But hey, 13 years is not bad, is it? For cold-blooded, full-on, smashing head in murder with plenty of evidence and, in fact, an admission. Yep, you heard me. It's just hit the press the last couple of days. This is the case of Robert Brown, a British man and a British Airways pilot who killed his then 46-year-old wife, Joanna Simpson, by bludgeoning her to death with a claw hammer. 14 blows. And this was back in 2010, and he was cleared of murder. Literally just the last couple of days, this has been in the press because he was due to be released in November. He admitted to and was convicted of manslaughter on the grounds of diminished responsibility, managing to obtain a psychiatric report saying he suffered from adjustment disorder. This lesser conviction meant that he only received a 26-year sentence for the gruesome and entirely senseless attack. And, this is the total shocker and makes me so embarrassed to be British with our British legal system, really, to be perfectly honest. Like I say, he was due to be released in November after serving only 13 years in prison. So the worst element of this horrible decision that Brown chose to make that day, I think, is that it was basically in front of their 2 young children. So they not only, so this is the ages of 9 and 10, not only heard the attack from the room next door, so they hear their parents arguing, fighting, shouting, and then they hear banging noises, bludgeoning, in the room like next door, but they also then watched out the window and they watched their father carry their mother's lifeless body, leg hanging down, into and put into the boot of the car. They were then put into the boot of that very same car and driven around, knowing that she was in the boot behind them. Oh, terrible. So he then drops the children off and then he drives to Windsor Park and buries her body in a makeshift grave. I mean, this was quite a deep grave, by the way. I mean, he really didn't mean for it to be found by how deep he did it, I'm sure. So, despite being really wealthy and really comfortable, he actually says to police in his interview when he's arrested that his wife was at fault, as she kept something about keeping an inheritance from him in a prenuptial agreement when they got married. What a narcissist. I mean, honestly, speaking to police in the manner, and I know because I've basically watched the whole thing, that he was trying to explain to them how she deserved it. Yeah, because everyone deserves murder, especially your loving wife and mother of your children, of course. Yes, that makes sense. Ugh. So, was he released in November, I hear you ask? Or will he be anytime soon? If he had his way, he would. Talk about no remorse. He tried. Well, it would have been an automatic release, actually, based on the conviction. He would have automatically been released in November after, like I say, just 13 years. But luckily, Joanna's family fought back and won. So the conclusion was only released in the press today. Thank goodness. I am very glad to announce that he has now been denied of his freedom and will not be getting out early after all. Phew. I mean, we say that now. I bet this comes up again in the next 13 years. I guess he may still get out earlier than that, but watch this space. His poor children, now in their 20s, they've expressed their relief about this as they feared for their lives. The poor, traumatised things. Oh, can't imagine. So, if you missed the Netflix documentary that was out last year about this, that I watched, it was called When Missing Turns to Murder. Great series, check it out. There's plenty of other interesting things on there. There is currently also, it's just finished, the last couple of days, the last week or so, the 2-part ITV documentary called The British Airways Killer. And this is what's come out, been re-released and going out because of the news at the moment of the court case in the last couple of days. So If you haven't seen it, I recommend watching it, getting even more detail than I've given you. Did I miss anything? You know, check it out. Have you seen it? What do you think? Do you think he should have been released? Do you feel sorry for him? Do you live where he used to live? Do you know him? And it wasn't far from me here in the English countryside, actually, I have to say. Pretty scary. Hope you enjoyed the video as always. Please do like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you for my next true crime happening now update. Take care, Vortexians.
From it.